Hello, visionaries! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maresa Talbert. I'm the founder and CEO of Talbert Law Office, your favorite go-to legal resource for all things business, nonprofit, and intellectual property law.
My faith rising. I'm crawling out the trenches, holding me.
I regularly interact with individuals who have just started or want to start a nonprofit organization, but they're really not sure how to go about it. So, as you've already seen from the title, today I'm going to talk about how to form your nonprofit organization in just 3 phases. Now, beware, there are more than 20 types of nonprofit organizations. So today I'm really going to focus on the charitable organization or the 501c3 because that's what most people are familiar with. So let's jump right into it. So let's talk about what I call phase 1. You've heard me preach this before, but you know that I like to call nonprofit organizations not-for-profit corporations. This distinction becomes very important because in order to start your nonprofit, you have to file articles of incorporation just like a for-profit corporation with your Secretary of State. Now, these articles may take on various names. In California, there's 2 primary types of articles of incorporation for a nonprofit. One is the nonprofit public benefit corporation, and the other is the nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. If you want a video on the difference between the 2, let me know in the comments. On the other hand, in Delaware, the articles for a nonprofit are called the Certificate of Incorporation for an exempt corporation. The point is, each state may have its own title for its articles of incorporation, but that is the first step. You have to create the entity. And for most states and in most instances, that entity is going to be a corporation. If you remember from one of my other videos, I discussed the governing documents that accompany a corporation, and a not-for-profit corporation is no different in that regard. It still requires the adoption of bylaws, obtaining your EIN number, maintaining meeting minutes, and other organizational and governing documents. But this generally completes phase 1. So let's talk about phase 2. Phase 2 is when you tell the IRS, hey, look, I just started this corporation and our mission and purpose is so community-oriented that it's not benefiting any one particular person. It's benefiting the whole community or a whole community of particular people. We believe that we have an exempt purpose, and because of that, we think that you should exempt our corporation from paying federal taxes. And you explain this nonprofit purpose and mission to the IRS by submitting what is called a Form 1023 or Form 1023-EZ. The Form 1023-EZ is used by nonprofit organizations that expect to receive no more than $50,000 in donations each year throughout the lifetime of their existence. And once your application is submitted to the IRS, it can take about 6 to 8 months for it to be processed by the IRS. And sometimes there may be an informational request by the IRS agent if they need more information. If the IRS approves your application, you will receive what is called a determination letter. This letter will inform you of the type of tax exemption that your organization receives, the date that the IRS recognized your entity as a tax-exempt entity, which is generally the date that the articles of incorporation were filed, whether contributions to your organization will be tax deductible for the donors, any annual filing requirements, and your public charity status, which is not important until it is. Next week, I'll have a video to further discuss this public charity status and what plays into that. But submitting your application to the IRS and receiving your determination letter from the IRS completes phase 2. Lastly, phase 3 is now when you go back to your state and you say, hey state, the IRS thinks that what I'm doing is fantastic. They recognize that the mission and purpose of this organization is a service to the community. And because of that, they have exempted me from paying federal taxes. So you should exempt me from paying state taxes. This is often a lost step when people are forming their nonprofit organizations. Yes, in many states, after you receive federal tax exemption, you have to request state tax exemption. It's not always automatic. In California, all nonprofit organizations must file for state tax exemption, and they must register as a charitable organization with the Attorney General's office. In Delaware, state tax exemption is automatic once you've received federal tax exemption. In Texas, on the other hand, certain organizations are required to file for state tax exemption and register with the Attorney General's office. So you started with your state and now you're ending with your state. Once you have successfully completed any required state filings, that completes the full formation of your nonprofit organization. Well, that is all I have for this video. I hope it was helpful in helping to understand the general requirements for forming your nonprofit organization. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. And as always, this is Talbert Law Office, your favorite go-to legal resource for all things business, nonprofit, and intellectual property law. I'll see you in the next video.
I done made it this far.